So in this video, I want to do something that's unusual, and I want to discourage you from getting a doctoral degree. I really strongly believe that this is important for you to hear this. You should probably not do a doctoral degree. No matter what you are thinking, I think we really need to be upfront with this, and it's not for everybody. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Massack. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people who help me out that I want to pay the favor forward to help you out. So I actually created this sharing economy editing platform. Go check it out, reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. And then I started doing these YouTube videos to get the word out and kind of evolved into something else. And so we have a lot of different resources available for you to check out. So, is doing a doctoral degree bad? I would argue that it is bad for a lot of people. In fact, it's probably bad for the majority of the people. And you probably should not do it. You're probably not ready to do it if you are, thinking about getting a doctorate degree for these reasons. I've sort of stressed these before, but I'm going to do it again because I think it's very important. So if you're doing it to get rich, I think that this is probably the wrong motivation. Although it is a normal motivation. I'm not saying that this is like, immoral or anything like that. I think that's very important to sort of think about. But the returns from it are just not that large in terms of what you're expecting and what you're going to get from it. For the amount of work that you put in, the opportunity cost, and all that kind of stuff you add up, the returns are just not there. So it's not going to be a very good degree to actually propel you. I would encourage you to go and get an MBA if that's what you're thinking about. If you're doing it because you want to live in a specific location, that was actually one of my biggest motivators. I actually wanted to live in a college town, but I was really, really mistaken in terms of why I should do that, or sort of the marketplace. You really don't have a choice in where you go, especially early on in terms of the position that you get. You really don't. And it's hard to find, a college town that you could live in, or, one of these particular places. Most universities are actually in large cities. And even if you wanted to live in a specific city like New York, it's just really, it's super competitive to get into those institutions. And so that is not really a good motivation to actually go and do a doctorate degree because you have a certain thing in mind, because of a place that you want to live. It's just not going to work out for you. I could almost guarantee that it's not going to work out for you. So don't even start thinking about it in that sort of way. You've heard that people respect you with a PhD. So for me, this is something that actually, somebody said, oh, wouldn't it be really cool if you had a doctorate degree and PhD behind your name? And, when I'm, 23 years old, it sounds really cool. But in reality, you don't actually get that much respect in terms of getting a doctorate degree in a lot of different sort of ways. And it really doesn't, that respect is not it's not worth the pain that you're going to go through versus just having a great life. And that's why I spend a ton of time. You notice that this channel is like massively about like feeling good and, doing the right thing. That's because it's so incredibly hard. Like, take a signal from what I'm actually talking about, what I'm doing. It really is not going to be worth the sort of impression or status that you get from doing it. That's the sort of fourth thing is to think about is, if you want to impress other people, then you're probably on the wrong motivation. You probably have to stop and think about, why do I actually want to impress other people? What is it that I actually want to do? And for 9 times out of 10, the reason why you want to impress other people are all for the wrong reasons. And so you have to think about, why do I actually want to do this? Is this something that I really, really want to do? And that's the important thing. And then, the last thing that I think is so important, if you don't have unusual grit that you can just like take a beating, get back up, take a beating, get back up. I mean, the whole process, it is about that. And unless you're unusual, you're at the top, sort of the tail of the distribution, very, very most unusual, most people are going to get beat up. And most people are, the majority of the people are going to sort of lose themselves because of this process of being beat up repeatedly. I am not unusual when I talk about these things openly. I'm unusual because I talk about them openly in public, but 75, 80, 90% of the people are going to tell you that this is very much the truth in terms of going through it. So my goal is to discourage you from getting a doctorate degree. I want you, because it's the cost is huge, and by the time you get into it, you are not going to want to switch out of it. So before you actually get into it, you should watch a ton of these videos, really get a sense of what I'm talking about and what you go through. The best analogy that I want you to do and to think about, it's like climbing a mountain. The whole process is, it's not enjoyable to train to climb a mountain or to do a marathon or anything like those. It's not enjoyable, and it's not for the vast majority of the people. But if you're that one person that wants that sort of challenge, and that is what drives you to be you, then it kind of makes sense to do it. But the vast majority of people should not be doing it. And so if you're not doing it for the right reasons, you're gonna really struggle, and it's gonna be a really tough climb in terms of what you're going through. And I feel like a lot of people feel like this. This is not unusual. So just take that to heart and think about why you're actually doing it. And for the most part, don't do it. It's not for everybody. And if you can get to the point where you're doing it for the right reasons, then yeah, go ahead and think about it. But don't do it until you actually get there. So with that, give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Take care and have a wonderful day.